WYMT Mountain News first at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, a man wanted in connection with a Hazard murder is now in custody. Police arrested Anthony Lewis this morning. He is charged with the murder of Marlena Holland. She was found beaten to death at Bobby Davis Park yesterday morning. WYMT's Macy Marie has the latest.
Police say they got a lot of tips about where Anthony Lewis might be, which helped them find him early this morning in Perry County. Around 6 yesterday morning, police got a call about a woman being hurt or possibly killed at Bobby Davis Park in Hazard. When police arrived, they found Marlena Holland beaten to death.
Horrible times like this, you feel the need to say something, you just don't know exactly what.
Police say this man, Anthony Lewis, is responsible. Lewis was staying at the Hope House, a homeless shelter in Perry County. Ben Fugit, the Hope House president, says at one point, Holland also stayed there.
She was just a sweet, sweet person, and she had many struggles in life like a lot of people do.
Fugit says he never met Lewis. After the alleged murder, police could not find him.
It was a restless night for me and a lot of officers last night, and I'm sure it was for a lot of residents of Hazard and Perry County.
Police Chief Minor Allen says people can now rest easy.
We're very grateful to the public for the tips.
After a day of searching, one of those tips led police to Lewis. Police say he was hiding at the old Big Creek School in Perry County.
You know, 24 hours on the run had pretty much exhausted him, I think.
Police say after a day on the run, Lewis did come with them willingly. In Perry County, Macy Marie, WYMT Mountain News.
A group set up a fund for Holland's funeral expenses. You can donate by stopping by the front desk at Hazard City Hall. Jeffrey Epstein will have to wait to find out if he will make bail in his sex trafficking case. He pleaded not guilty last week to charges that he abused minors. A federal judge said today he has not decided if Epstein deserves bail. Epstein is accused of recruiting and abusing dozens of underage girls in his New York mansion and his Florida home in the early 2000s.
The girls were recruited in a variety of ways, usually by employees of Epstein and sometimes by fellow victims.
On Friday, prosecutors said Epstein may have tried to influence witnesses who might have information against him. For those reasons, prosecutors considered Epstein dangerous and a flight risk, but his lawyers argued that he should be able to await trial at his Manhattan mansion with electronic monitoring.
Heading into the 4 o'clock hour of this Monday afternoon, we're starting to see those clouds pop up as well as a few thunderstorms. Let's go ahead and take you outside the WYMT studios right now where we're seeing a little bit more cloud cover than we have over the past few hours. That's because we're starting to see those showers and storms pop up and move throughout the region. You can see that right here on Pinpoint Doppler. Rowan County about to get in on some pretty heavy rainfall as well as that frequent lightning and a shower and storm moving right into southern Floyd County and just starting to get into Pike County as well. So we're going to see those scattered showers and storms continue throughout the afternoon, and those temperatures where it has not rained yet, a little bit warmer, even into those lower 90s into Prestonsburg, but everyone else looking at those lower to mid 80s because we're seeing that increased cloud cover as well as that rainfall, and those temperatures feeling definitely very warm. Upper 90s feeling like into the Big Sandy, and even the lower 90s feeling like into the Cumberland Valley region. So definitely a very warm one out there today, paired with all that humidity. So for today and into tonight, those isolated chances going to continue. However, we're going to see a little bit less rain chances as we head into those evening hours after sunset. And then Barry's remnants, they are on the way. It is a tropical depression as of right now, but it will continue to weaken, but it will continue to bring plenty of rainfall heading throughout your week, mainly on your Wednesday. And we are looking at a hot weekend with that typical summertime pattern looking to return to the mountains. I'll break down those rain chances in my full forecast in just a little bit. Steve.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Tropical moisture from what once was Hurricane Barry is causing dangerous flooding, threatening 11 million people across 8 states in the south. Some areas could see up to another 5 inches of rain. When Hurricane Barry crashed onto Louisiana Saturday, heavy rain, tornadoes, and winds up to 65 miles an hour uprooted trees, damaged homes, and flooded roads. As the rain continues to drench the region and the Mississippi River is at historic flood levels, Officials are urging people to remain vigilant.
We're thankful that the worst case scenario did not happen. But we understand here in Louisiana, if nowhere else, that will not always be the case.
Only about 300 people showed up to the state's 23 shelters. Some flights resumed yesterday at the New Orleans airport. We are learning new details in the death of a young Madison County mother who was missing for more than 6 months. Today, a state police detective testified in a court hearing about the man police have charged in the death investigation. Police say David Sparks concealed her death and may have buried her 19 inches below the ground. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the testimony from Garrett County.
We still do not know how Savannah Spurlock died. That has not come out in court hearings, but in court today, a police detective did testify what took place at a Price court home and then possibly on a farm several miles from here following her death. Police say all three men ended up at a home in Lancaster with Spurlock on the morning of January 4th. 2 others left, and police say Sparks said she slept in his bedroom and he was on the couch. She woke up sometime later asking for information to help her get home. He said he fell back asleep and she was gone when he woke up. But police say they have evidence that she was buried in a 19-inch grave at his parents' home on Fall Lick Road, where she was found last week. Police said that she was wrapped in a rug and garbage bags. Her hands and feet were bound together in an unnatural way. Police said Sparks worked to replace the rug that was in his home.
What did Mr. Sparks ask his sister?
On January the 4th at approximately 14:10 hours, so 2 in the afternoon, 2:10, to his sister, "Hey, where did you get that rug? I'm going to get another one."
Police say they have surveillance video of him going to Walmart and buying the exact same kind of rug that Spurlock was found buried in. Then that rug was found in a home during a search several days later. The judge agreed there is probable cause to forward the case on to a grand jury. The grand jury will return indictments this Friday, but court officials say it's likely this case will be held over until August. In Garrett County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
No bond has been set for Sparks, who remains in the Lincoln County Jail. The judge said he would consider setting one. A Lexington priest came to Harlan County this morning, helping Black Jewel coal miners pay their utilities this month. Many miners say this came at the perfect time, as they have waited 2 pay periods now for their paychecks. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds has more.
Directors with the Diocese of Lexington say Father Jim Sitchko helped more than 200 Black Jewel miners pay their utility bills in only 2 hours. Father Jim Sitchko says after he heard about the situation with the miners, his heart was broken with pity. He says he decided to help miners with this month's utility bill. Father Sitchko was at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Harlan from 10 a.m. to noon today and helped around 200 miners and their families. Father Sitchko says the money was based on a first-come, first-served basis. He says all he asks is that the miners that were helped today will help others when they can.
Hopefully they'll learn to pay it forward. And if they haven't done already, I encourage them to do so. Because whatsoever you give to the least of my brothers and sisters, it's always given back to you 1,000-fold.
Directors say thanks to Father Jim Sitchko, the miners and their families have more than $20,000 in utility bills paid. In Harlan County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Great thing. Father Sitchko gave the last miner of the day and his wife a $100 bill and said he is paying their utility bill for the next year. We now know when Governor Matt Bevin plans to convene a special session of the Kentucky General Assembly, and it's soon. The governor announced today that he will call one this Friday at 8 a.m. Bevin says he wants to provide relief for regional universities, county health departments, and many other quasi-governmental agencies faced with surging pension costs. The proposal would replace a bill that Bevin vetoed in April after the legislature ended its regular session. We'll have much more on this coming up at 6. Tensions are elevated in areas with high migrant populations as immigration raids began yesterday. Sources tell CBS News activity has been limited to New York City, where ICE agents knocked on doors but made no arrests. Immigration officials say about 1 million people in the country have removal orders. Acting ICE Director Matthew Albence said yesterday the operation targets those who pose a threat to public safety.
We are doing targeted enforcement actions against specific individuals who have had their day in immigration court and have been ordered removed by an immigration judge.
Some Democrats say publicizing the crackdown is the administration's attempt to instill fear. The American Civil Liberties Union filed a lawsuit alleging the raids violate basic due process procedures and that many of the immigrants targeted may have not received the paperwork to appear in court in the first place. Let's head over to Wall Street now this Monday afternoon. The Dow closes up today more than 27 points. The Bible is the top-selling book in the United States with an estimated 20 million copies sold each year. But the head of a major Christian publishing house says new Trump administration tariffs on Chinese imports are levying what he calls a Bible tax. At Christian Faith Bookstore in Wisconsin, there is no shortage of Bibles, but where those items come from could cause problems.
So it is published here in the United States, but printed in China.
And with recent tariffs, that makes a big difference. They say items have gone up $1 to $3 this year alone. However, despite the Bible tax title, those working with the store say the tariffs are impacting several different items in their store as well.
Prime Day isn't just for Amazon anymore. I'm Diane King Hall with how the online retail giant's competitors are also bringing Black Friday to July.
Tomorrow we can expect a day like today, but how will remnants from Barry affect us? I'll have those details coming up.